Greetings, it's your boy Lanye, 24 years free, here with another story of my life. So, I'm at the level 4, Calipatria State Prison. Just for those who don't know, level 4 is the highest, other than 180, dangerous level that you can be in prison. So I'm around killers and murderers and rapists, everything. My neighbors seemed like some cool dudes, Mexican guys. They would befriend me, make sure they spoke all the time, which was rare because in prison, Mexicans don't deal with blacks. But they were quite friendly. I took to their niceness, and I started speaking back. Over time, I would hear their stories about their kids. One guy in particular, young brother named. So eventually it got to the point where I was making some food and he offered me some food. Level 4s, there's no interaction between races, so this immediately was strange to me. But was a good dude. I just thought he was so good that he didn't care about the politics of racist interaction and feeding with each other. So when he offered me the food, I accepted it. Tacos, by the way. It was real good. I thanked him for it. We kept chopping up like nothing. One time we went on lockdown, and in level 4, lockdowns is 6 to 8 months. The short lockdowns. The long lockdowns are like 16 months. Over a year. In the process of this lockdown, we chopping it up. We getting closer and closer. He eventually tells me, he says, I got something to tell you, but I can't say it over the tier because we're talking from door to door. So it's just basically, everybody can hear what we're talking about, so it's real general, high and by niceties. But he had something personal he wanted to tell me, so he told me he's going to write it down to me in what's referred to as a kite. So he shot me a kite, and in the kite he told me, I'll never forget it, he said, Lanye, I feel obligated to tell you something. He said, you know Mexicans don't mess with blacks. He says, but you know I've been messing with you this whole time. He says, you remember that time I gave you the food? He says, my people instructed me to give you food because we're not allowed to eat with blacks. So the food was a ploy to pull you in to get you closer to me. He said, the reason why I'm telling you all this is because I'm in the Mexican Mafia. And in the event of a riot, I have to be assigned to assassinate and kill certain people. And you are on my list of people who I had to kill. He says it's not personal. It's the rules of the game. He says, but the only reason I'm telling you this is because I don't want to kill you. He says, so what I'm going to do is, if I'm giving word that we're about to take off on your peoples, I'm going to give you word before then to be in a chapel. Because if you're here, I have to kill you. And I do not want to kill you. This was a life-changing experience for me because I knew I was in there with cutthroat killers. I knew I was in there with murderers and mobsters and mafia members. But I thought this guy was different. I was the only naive one in there to think that it wasn't. He had enough conscience enough to tell me that he was a killer. And he was sent to kill me if the opportunity presented itself. You know, I never knew what ever happened to you, bro. But I thank you for telling me that, man. They gave me a new insight into the world that I had found myself in. I was completely naive to prison at that point in the game. I'd only been in 4 to 5 months. And I know you went on to do all of the stuff that your card told you to do. You know, you was in the Mexican Mafia, so I would expect you went to the shoe and did all kinds of other stuff. But you saved my life, even though you was intended to kill it. So that's my story for today. Look, I'm just telling my truth. No extras.